welcome to Are We There Yet? Market Scale's transportation mobility focused video podcast series where we enjoy highlighting the most exciting cutting edge things that are happening in the world of transportation and mobility. My name is Grant Harrell, and as your host, I'm really fortunate to have the opportunity to speak with leaders within all of transportation and mobility, really learning about what's defining that cutting edge today in terms of technology and products within the world of transportation. And there's certainly a lot happening nowadays within the world of transportation and mobility, electric vehicles, autonomous vehicles, even a lot of innovation happening within aviation, for example, sustainable fuels and decarbonization of the industry. And while automotive and aviation are such important parts of the industry, a real need today is getting around town locally, micro-mobility, just running some of the errands and things that we need to do in our daily lives and doing it in a more sustainable way. And also, by the way, having a lot of fun. And so I found what I believe is one of the most exciting companies in all of transportation that's really addressing that problem and has developed now a solution for those of us looking to get around in a more fun and sustainable way. And so today, to speak with us about that, really excited to have the opportunity to speak with the founder of Old Soren Motorcycles, Kenny Sanders. Kenny, hello, and welcome to Are We There Yet?
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be on.
Well, thank you so much. Well, what a beautiful background that you have today for someone that's all about cars and automotive and anything kind of transportation and mobility. You've got a lot of really cool stuff in the background there. And one that really sticks out for me is a beautiful looking motorcycle that I see right behind you. And as I just kind of touched on a little bit, you know, you've really kind of identified and are targeting really this problem that we have nowadays, which is just to kind of get around town relatively short distance for most of us, but looking to do that in a way that's more sustainable and that's a lot of fun. And if I may use a technical term, you've developed something that I think is also really cool. And so I'm really excited to learn more about that. So if you don't mind, would you mind maybe introducing us to Old Soren Motorcycles and telling us a little bit about this incredible product that you've developed?
Yeah, definitely. So this is Old Soren Motorcycle Co. I named it after my great-great-grandfather that brought my family from Denmark to the U.S. During the time I was building it, it was kind of a passion project for me. I was doing my family tree and kind of wanted to know my background and where I came from. And I realized, you know, my great-great-grandfather that brought us here, that, you know, he was an entrepreneur as well. His name is Soren. So kind of an homage to him. And as you can see by the design, with a lot of clutters of amazing cars back here, the design itself is from like a 1950s, 60s cafe racer style. So with electric motorcycles and most electric vehicles, you know, there's some that have like a great design, but some that have like a really crazy futuristic design. And what I like is classic cars. I like classic motorcycles. I like the timeless designs, the designs that are going to stick around for years to come. They're always going to look cool. And so, you know, that's what I based the design for Old Soren on. And then, yeah, as far as the electric motorcycle, you know, it's like if it was an actual 1950s motorcycle, I'd be breaking down like every block or two and, you know, have to pull to the side of the road. So it's cool to be able to ride something that looks old, even though it's all brand new, but it looks old with absolutely, you know, very low maintenance on it. And you can just cruise. You know, I live down here in Redondo Beach, you know, right by the beach here in California. So it's just a fun motorcycle to cruise around on. It gets up to 90-mile range, 65 miles an hour. So yeah, it's perfect, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm like you. I love the classic kind of vintage, timeless designs as you've described it. And I've really noticed the same thing. You know, there's a lot of companies in the market and that are releasing products and motorcycles, you know, that are electric and really kind of addressing, you know, parts of this need that we have today. And like you said, a lot of them kind of have this chiseled futuristic look, which is cool, but, you know, kind of looks like something out of, you know, my favorite sci-fi movie as opposed to something I'm excited to kind of jump on and hit the streets. And so I feel like that, you know, beyond just a personal preference, there's seems to be a lot of us out there that are looking for something kind of timeless that want to benefit, you know, from the advantages of being electric, but also want to, you know, look cool and enjoy something that they really like looking at too. So that seems to be, you know, even more than just kind of a personal preference, a couple guys like you and I, but something that the industry is really demanding, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like history always repeats itself, right? And if you look at the trend now with like the younger generation, you know, they're dressing like they're from the 90s again. And and all sorts of stuff. But like with this type of aesthetic of like, the cars in the background, like the old Porsche 911s and, the old looking motorcycle, it's just something that forever is going to be cool. It almost feels like when you're looking at it, you're in a museum and you're looking at the past and you get that nostalgia feel. It's kind of interesting riding it around because I get the young generation that's like, oh my gosh, that's one of the coolest motorcycles I've ever seen. But I also get like 80-year-old guys coming up and they're just like, this is amazing. And you can tell that they're having like this whole nostalgia experience. And it's almost like the motorcycle that they wanted when they were young. And so it kind of really fits like all aspects of life.
Yeah. Well, why was it so important for you beyond just developing a beautiful motorcycle? And I know that motorcycles are something that you are very passionate about, but why was making it electric so important to you?
I think I just wanted to. So I used to have a Harley and stuff like that. I still love engines. I always will.
Yeah.
I love messing around with them, tinkering around and stuff. But with electric, I got interested in how electric vehicles work and, hub motors and the batteries, how the batteries work. And, when I was wanting to create a motorcycle company, funny thing is my wife actually didn't really want me to ride a motorcycle anymore, but she was okay with electric motorcycles. So I was like, all right, so then I started trying to find an electric motorcycle that I liked and couldn't really find one that really resonated with me. So I have some sort of a design background. I know kind of what I'm doing, but, still learning as I'm going. But so then I started designing this just as a passion project. I stepped away from things I was doing previously just to clear my mind, do something fun. And I really kind of made the motorcycle for myself. And then I put it online and it got millions of views like on TikTok and social medias and stuff. And then I realized, maybe this is a business that I could start. And then that's when I really started to dive into electric motor vehicles. My wife drives a Tesla, so that's, a lot of fun to learn about that and how that works. And then, the motorcycle thing is a completely different experience, but also, gas prices are so high right now as well that, if I want something to just cruise down to the beach and, meet up with my buddies and whatnot, electric motorcycle is the way to go. It's super cheap to charge it. And, you don't have to worry about pulling into the gas station. You don't have to worry about oil changes. You don't have to worry about, your idle going down and stalling or whatever at a stoplight and you have to pull off to the side. It's just a very minimal maintenance, fun motorcycle.
Yeah. Yeah, they are a lot of fun. And I had a partner that gave me an electric scooter, probably something I wouldn't have necessarily just purchased, on my own, but had the opportunity to get one. And I love it. And it is easy. And I'm thinking about that as you talk about the maintenance, but just the idea of just kind of charging it, jumping on it, hitting the road, especially something like this where you can actually get around town quite a bit more than a scooter, I think is really cool and attractive to me. But that maintenance side of it makes a lot of sense. I went electric recently with my lawnmower, as crazy as that sounds, and just not having to mess with oil and keeping a can of gas around the garage and just all of the maintenance that's required, even in a new lawnmower, for example. There are a lot of really nice benefits of it being electric, and I think that it really fits in with the idea of a motorcycle and just able to kind of hop on and hit the road and do what you need to do and not have to tinker with it every time.
Exactly. And it's kind of funny because so I have a lot of friends that ride motorcycles, like Indian Triumphs and all that. And a lot of them are against electric vehicles, electric motorcycles, because they love the motor and whatnot. But when I cruise this around with my friends, they're all fighting me to ride it, and it's like so I'll jump on their Triumph and then they'll ride that. And so it's definitely one of the only few electric motorcycles that's accepted by actual motorcycle riders. And then on the other hand, it's cool too, because people that are kind of afraid to get a motorcycle, they've never had one before, they're scared to ride a clutch. With electric, it's fully automatic. So there's no clutch, there's no gears. It's very simple. If you know how to ride a scooter, you know how to ride old Soren.
Yeah, yeah. That's a big deal. So the motorcycle community, Indian Triumph owners are fighting one another to have the experience of an old Soren motorcycle. That really says a lot. And talk about a community that's probably not easy to get into, that might kind of have their preconceptions and their minds made up on what they like and don't. And so if they're willing to let you cruise the Triumph while they ride the old Soren, I think that really says a lot. And I've got to think that your design is a big part of it. I don't know that the reception would have been the same if it was one of these kind of more chiseled, futuristic looking motorcycles, but with the classic and kind of timeless look of yours, I imagine that's part of, some of the reception that you're already getting from the motorcycle community.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely something that I wouldn't be embarrassed riding up to a motorcycle bar with. It's if I was like on a George Jetson futuristic looking, shooting bubbles out of the back, I'd probably park like a block away and then walk. But with this, when I pull it up, I mean, they're more blown away by how it looks and what it is, than that it's electric. They're just like, what is? And a lot of people think that I converted an old motorcycle to electric. So then I get the people that are trying to say, hey, can you convert my old Yamaha or whatever? But, it's fully brand new. I just designed it to look old. But yeah, it's widely accepted by actual real motorcycle riders. And I was actually just in downtown LA showcasing it at Bike Shed Moto, which is one of the biggest motorcycle shops in pretty much all of California. They only have a location in Los Angeles and in the UK. And like Jason Momoa's motorcycles are there, Brad Pitt's motorcycles are there. I mean, it's the whole thing is just full of these incredible custom built motorcycles. And this was one of the tops that everyone surrounded and looked at. And so that made me super excited because it was the first time I've actually publicly brought the motorcycle somewhere to show it. I mean, I've been riding it for a year and a half, but having real motorcycle riders look at it and talk to me about it, it just made me feel so much more confident in what I'm doing.
Absolutely. It's a motorcycle where once you see it, you're hooked. I mean, it's that powerful. I had your website up on the computer at the office this past week and stopped 3 or 4 people in their tracks. What is that? Kind of thing when they saw it and just were excited to learn more. So it is one of those, I think just the look of it is kind of stopping your tracks. It's really, really cool. And the specs are pretty incredible too, as you kind of touched on a little bit. Top speed of 65 miles per hour. Would you mind sharing, some more of the specs? I know that myself and the audience would probably love to learn a little bit more about in terms of just kind of operation time and charging and some of the specs of the motorcycle. You mind sharing a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's got a 4,000 watt brushless hub motor in the back. So that little thing like in the back wheel, that's the actual propulsion of the motorcycle. And then where the motor usually goes, that's the actual battery. And the battery is that full size. It's just in a little case. So it's a 72 watt, 60 amp hour battery. And the brakes are full on motorcycle ABS, hydraulic disc brakes for safety. A lot of electric motorcycles and electric bicycles, they have little bike brakes, and those are pretty scary, especially at traveling at high speed. So the whole thing's actually built on a motorcycle frame. It's full on motorcycle without the engine. I mean, I didn't hold back at all. And then, 65 miles per hour, and then up to 90 mile range. And when I say up to 90 mile range, it's a limited speed motorcycle, which means it's got 3 different modes, and you don't need to switch through the modes as you're riding. So if you start out in first mode, it'll cap you out at like 20 miles an hour. That's like if you just kind of want to ride the side of the road, you're kind of nervous. There's even an option to put pedals on it, but there's no pedals on it right now. Those people that don't want them, you can just take them right off, full on motorcycle look. But if you're trying to pass it as a moped, you just put it in that first mode and put the pedals on it and you're good to go. If you want to ride it as a motorcycle, you go into second and third mode. Second and third mode will get you up to between 45 miles an hour, third mode 65 miles an hour. But again, you don't have to shift through the gears as you're going. They're just modes. Basically, if it's in second mode, under the tank, there's a control unit under the tank. It's like the brain of the actual motorcycle. And so second mode, it basically tells the hub motor how much power to give. So if you're in first mode, the control unit will tell the hub motor to go easy. And then second mode, a little harder. Third mode, you're cruising. But so if you're in second mode, like I test it all the time. If I'm in second mode and I'm not blasting off the stop signs and stop lights, and I'm not going super fast everywhere, I'll get like 75, 80 mile range. But if first mode, you could even beat that 90 mile range. You could probably get well over 100. But in third mode, if you're blasting off everywhere, it's just like a Tesla, and most electric vehicle owners know this as well. If you're cruising, super fast and racing everyone, your battery life's gonna, go down significantly. But if you're easy riding and you're just cruising around, you're gonna max out that range.
Nice. Easy riding, great motorcycle reference. I love that. Yeah.
See, that's what I'm about now. I do occasional, go fast and do dumb things, but I'm at the age now where I'm like easy riding. I actually enjoy the ride. And the funny thing is I was talking to one of my buddies the other day, and I'm trying to figure out why I love motorcycles so much and why I always have. And I think it's one of the things that truly makes me live in the moment, because when you're on the motorcycle, I'm always aware of my surroundings, because you got to expect people to pull out, and you got to dodge it's almost like the Paperboy video game. You're dodging all the things, and then you feel like the wind in your on your face, and on your arms and your legs, and so you don't really have time to overthink or think about things that doesn't matter. So when I'm on the motorcycle, I'm truly living the moment, versus when I'm in a car, I'm listening to music. Sometimes I start thinking, my brain gets the best of me. But the motorcycle, man, I'm just I'm out there and I just feel good, and there's no overthinking, there's no it's just truly in the moment.
Yeah, I love that. How cool! Like a paper boy at the end of a day of deliveries, right? You're just cruising home and enjoying it. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so big question. I'm very anxious to learn more about this, as I know a few people are that have seen the motorcycle through our work together. Old Soren motorcycles available for sale today. Are we there yet?
Yep. So there is a lot of people waiting to get the motorcycle, but as of right now, since I'm independent from investors, I'm only opening up 20 motorcycles for sale, which are the Founder Series. But in order to get that, so they retail at $8,000, and so you got to put $4,000 down to start the build, and then around October is when they'll be finished and then delivered. We can ship it out if you live on the East Coast, or you can pick it up if you live near Los Angeles. But the other additional $4,000 is due at delivery. So it's not like a financing thing. We will be doing financing later on, as soon as we, can get more motorcycles in and they're just here. But as of right now, independent from investors, I just have to kind of build them like a couple, 2 by 2 by 2, and just slowly get them out there, slowly grow the business. And that's kind of the way I want to do it, because, it is a passion project for me. I'm not trying to sell a ton of motorcycles immediately and, be rushed and, kind of just start to get super stressed with it. I would rather take my time, build a great product, and this isn't like the first version. I don't think you can see, but behind this red car, there is the first version of the motorcycle. And I rode that for about a year and a half and had absolutely no issues, but there was a couple things I wanted to change. So this is actually the second version. Bigger battery, longer range, which is very important for an electric motorcycle. So, for those out there that are like, oh, it's the first version, I wouldn't get it. This is actually the second version, and the first version didn't even have any issues whatsoever. So yeah, just releasing the 20 right now. There's about 12 spots that are taken, and anyone else that wants to jump on the Founder Series, then they can get a hold of me through the website, and we can start the build and have one of the limited edition Founder Series.
Wow, what a deal! Eight remaining motorcycles available for sale. $8,000. One of 20 of your Founders Series. I don't think you could have much more fun for $8,000, and something that for many years to come will provide a lot of fun and enjoyment. So
exactly, that's cool. And honestly, the price point too. I've got friends tell me to get up to the 12,000 mark, and I don't want to get up there. I want to keep it as affordable as possible to everyone. But if you look at other electric motorcycles that are actual motorcycles and go motorcycle speeds, they're upwards towards 20,000 plus. So $8,000 for this, it's just something that I want to get out there.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a race. Eight isn't many. I know those will go quick. And so for any audience members out there that are ready to get there, one of 20 of the Founders Series, where can they go to learn more? If you would mind, would love for you to maybe direct audience members to the website, or actually where they can reserve one of the motorcycles. You mind sharing that with us?
Yeah, so it's just oldsorenmotorcycleco.com, and also our social medias are under the same handle, TikTok, Instagram. It's just Old Soren Motorcycle Co.
Yep.
And when you hit the contact button on any of those, it'll directly go to me.
Yeah, very good, very good. Well, expect some business there, because it's an incredible opportunity to get one of those first motorcycles. So really cool to hear that. You're clearly so passionate about the company and about this amazing motorcycle that you've developed. You told us a little bit about just the special meaning of the name, and I think that's really cool. It's you and it's your family, and it's something that you're very passionate about for years now, that has kind of come together in the motorcycle that's available for us now today. So it's clear that you're so passionate about it. I'd love, if you don't mind, to just touch on for a moment to learn a little bit more about you. You have an incredible background prior to even your successful career, within entrepreneurship and starting some very successful organizations other than Old Soren. But would you mind maybe just telling us a little bit more about your background and kind of who you are and kind of how that led to where you and the company are today?
Yeah, so I was previously a professional BMX rider. I did, the freestyle stuff, the backflips and rail grinds, broke a lot of bones, a lot of concussions. And then when I was around 25 years old, I started kind of going down the entrepreneur route, and I created a sock that goes inside your shoe called Knot Socks. It's actually a insole cover for your shoes. So if you live by the beach and you don't wear socks, if you're a lot of stylish people like in GQ magazine, they don't wear socks either. And it was a big issue that I saw that that needed to be handled. And I absolutely hated socks, but when you don't wear socks, you sweat in your shoes, and then your shoes start to smell, your feet starts to smell. So I created this brand called Knot Socks. You pull out your insole, you wrap this sock around your insole, so there's no heel built in it. And then you slip it inside your shoe, and then you stand on the sock. And you can actually wear it in your shoes for about a week, sometimes 2 weeks, without even washing them, because they're made out of bamboo and charcoal, which are both natural odor eaters. And so it keeps your shoes and your feet fresh. And then, so I did that. Then I did another business after that called TTM Lifestyle. It was a clothing company that I believe I did it for about 3 years, and then I sold it to the main couple on that MTV show called Teen Mom. I've seen a couple episodes, but it's pretty cool to see the clothing brand that I started plastered all over MTV. And I believe there's a retail store of it now, which is cool. So looking back, I probably should have kept 1 or 2% of the business, but it, it's all a learning experience. And then I had another successful business with a close buddy of mine in Colorado. We did pretty well with that. And then that's kind of when I decided to step away from working so hard, because I was living what I thought was the dream. I was living downtown Los Angeles and up in a 34-story high skyscraper, beautiful panoramic city view and all that, and very expensive to live there. But I was also working 12 hours a day, and so I decided to just take a break. I needed to move to the beach with my wife, so we decided to pack up, kind of do the minimal thing, and downsize. Went to the beach. And then that's really when I started working on this, because it was a passion project, and I just wanted to step away from everything. And I didn't realize I was starting my next business when I was working on this, but it turns out that, you just kind of got to go after what truly makes you happy. And, that's what I'm doing, being surrounded by cars and motorcycles. Ever since I was a little kid, I always played with little cars and motorcycles. And here I am, grown man, cars and motorcycles. But these cars are not mine by any means. They're one of my mentors. His name's Wayne Dempsey. He's pretty big in the car industry. This is his private collection. He just trusts me enough to come here and get my work done, kind of share office space a little bit, but more of just a friend helping out a friend type of deal.
Nice.
And then Old Soren will be moving to an actual other warehouse here sometime soon. Yeah. But I have no issues being here at all. I absolutely love it.
Not at all. That's a great spot. Good friend. Yeah, really, really cool setting. So.
Amazing friend, amazing mentor. I owe him a lot. He's an incredible guy.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you surround yourself really with some amazing people, and I love the trend and everything that you just shared with us. Is that you didn't necessarily set out to be a business owner or entrepreneur, or anything by any means. It was really just kind of looking around and developing solutions to some of the problems that you encountered. And like you said, it's stylish and didn't want to wear socks all the time. So you developed something that kind of took care of that problem. And clearly, through, your experience as a professional BMX rider and someone that's passionate about motorcycles and bikes and cars and kind of anything transportation, to kind of identify this need and really something that you're just kind of excited about that started as a passion project. So that really seems to be the trend behind everything that you've done so far, is that these are all things that you seem to be really passionate about.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the way it should be. You just got to identify problems and fix them, and do things that are true to yourself. And there's a lot of people out there that are trying to scramble to do the entrepreneur thing. They're watching too many TikTok videos of how I became a millionaire in 3 months, and just very unrealistic views. I mean, entrepreneurism is very, very hard, and there's times where you don't get paid for a long time, and then things start happening. But as long as you're doing what you love, you have a roof over your head, you have the necessities of, food, water, all that stuff, you're doing just as good as everyone else. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. I mean, I've got multiple friends that are way high up there in the millionaire status, and they all have the same issues as my other friends that are way down in the dumps, and it's like, that's just human nature. That's what it is. I mean, of course, like the millionaire friends, they have more first world problems than these people over here, but that's just the way it is, man. It's just it's hard, and you just got to go for it. And you can always say, like, I'm going to start tomorrow, I have this idea, but I'm just not ready for it. Like, no one's ever going to be ready. You just have to do it. And that's kind of what I'm doing with Old Soren, man. I'm learning a lot about regulations, DMV stuff. I mean, that's the not fun part about coming out with a product. And there's a lot of people that are like, you should have come out with this years ago. Why haven't they come out yet? I'm not selling T-shirts. Like, I'm actually selling motor vehicles that go on the road, and they have to be regulated, DOT approved, and it's a process that I almost backed out of 50 plus times. That it's like, some days I'm super excited. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be awesome, and then other days going through all the regulations and the process, and like, what am I doing? Like, starting a T-shirt company sounds so much easier than this, but at the end of the day, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And, if I can actually make this work and, have a big team and, actually start getting these out there to the masses once these founder series are taken up, then, it's been 3 years of almost 4 years of very hard work, but it's coming together for sure.
Yeah, coming together in a big way. You've really created something special, and I think that's really inspirational in telling us just kind of your process, and sharing some of the individuals that you've surrounded yourself with, and kind of some of the problems and way of thinking. I think that's really interesting to hear, and I think that probably the way that you went about Old Soren, I think really set you and the organization up for success, rather than kind of maybe another way to go about it in terms of kind of just starting a business to make money or to achieve whatever it is that you're going after, and to kind of figure out maybe starting more on kind of the DMV regulation side of things, and kind of looking at that cost and what do you need to break even, and kind of focused more on the financials and that sort of thing. I don't think that the end result would have been something as special as what you have with Old Soren. And I think just starting with something that looks cool, that kind of has that look, that does the job in terms of what you're looking to achieve, and then kind of filling in the blanks and taking care of some of those more administrative things after the fact, I think is why you've created something that is very special, and I think sticks out amongst the many motorcycles and other kind of solutions and vehicles that are kind of targeting this problem. So kudos to you, certainly, I think, for going about it that way and kind of following your passion and your heart first, and figuring out some of that other stuff later. So.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and that's what it is. It's just figuring it out. It's like, even if you had a 9-to-5 job, you're still trying to figure it out. So there's no free lunch, if you will. There's no easy way. You just gotta power through and go for it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'd like to ask one more question, if I may. It's really been fun for me to learn a little bit more about just who you are and kind of your journey and some of the other companies and what you have today with Old Soren. And I really appreciate you bringing me and all of us up to date in terms of the status of the company and the big exciting news that they are available for sale and that there is 8 remaining vehicles left. So I know those will go quick. So I do strongly encourage anyone out there that's ready to get one to jump on the website now and order it because I know that they won't be available long. But one thing that I'd be curious to learn about a little bit more too is looking ahead. You know, you've told us a little bit about kind of the journey to get here and kind of filled us in with what's happening today with the organization. I'd love to learn kind of beyond this initial offering of the motorcycles. And as you look a little bit into the future, you know, some of your vision for what that future looks like. And if not totally sure, you know, right now and just focused on kind of the project and the motorcycle at hand, totally understand, but would love if you can kind of give us maybe some hints, you know, into to what the future of the company looks like.
Yeah, so you know, I always have intentions, not expectations. So you know, if you have expectations of like we have to get there and it doesn't happen, you get disappointed. So to me, I have the intentions of you know making it one of the most well-known EV motorcycle companies out there. You know, it's a big save and it's going to be a lot of work, but that's what I'm out there to do. And then you know, I want to build a community. I want to build a family of, you know, if you have one of these, you're part of a family. You know, it's like and all motorcycle riders, as is, when you're on the road, you always see them do the wave to each other when they pass. You know, it's like you already feel like family. But that's what I'm trying to truly do here is just build more of a community, a family. People feel they're part of something, and you know that's pretty much it. But then you know what goes from there. You know, I eventually want to you know have dealers in New York, Middle America, out here, you know, in California, and big warehouse with some amazing cars like this, you know, of my own, and just kind of have a cool place that people can just come hang out, and you know they can drink coffee, they can you know do whatever they want to do, and then go for it, you know, like rides together. And but I just want to. My biggest thing is to build a community, family, a place where people can unite, come together, and just hang out. You know, they can work on their bikes. I just want to build a really cool space like that to where, you know, when they're off of work and they just want to get out of their heads a little bit, they can come on down to the Old Soren headquarters and just hang out and just have a good time. So that's shit. And I think if people are doing that, then things will just start to, you know, get bigger and bigger, because that's really what it comes down to for anything. You know, people feel like part of something, they want to share it.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I feel like I'm becoming a part of the Old Soren family and community, and it's something already that while I don't have one yet, I am sharing with people because it's really special, and I love what you said about community, and I love your vision for the organization, and no doubt will become a leader within electric motorcycles. So I'm confident that you are headed in that direction, and I think that the community that you describe is really appealing, especially in the world that we live in today. And I think more and more opportunities for us to maybe just kind of step away from the technology for periods of time and to interact in person with one another and to have a little fun and to enjoy the outdoors. I mean, these are all aspects of that kind of community and family that you're describing. And it's interesting to me at the same time, with all of that being said, you also are really at the cutting edge of technology. I mean, this is this is a sustainable micro mobility solution. So very much the cutting edge of technology, but at the same time, you know, talking about a community and a family and a lifestyle that's a little bit old school when you think of kind of in-person, you know, interaction. So I love that you're kind of bringing many worlds together that all kind of define that family. So it's certainly one that I find exciting and appealing and would like to be a part of myself. So
yeah, I appreciate that. And honestly, I'm super excited to see what you know, anyone that buys an Old Soren, I'm super excited to see what they do to the bike, because almost everyone that gets a motorcycle, they customize it. And the way I built Old Soren is it can adapt to other parts. So you can just buy cool motorcycle parts off Amazon and add it to the bike. It's not like you know, one of those one of those vehicles that you have to have like exact fit parts or anything like that. It's just something that I want everyone to make their own, and that's super exciting to me. Like that's honestly one of the biggest things I'm really excited about for releasing these, is just to see what people do to them.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. That'll be a fun project, especially these initial 20. Where in the world will these old Soren motorcycles, take us to? What'll be some of the stories and the ways that that people use the motorcycles? How do they customize it? So that'll be a lot of fun to hear and to see, some of these stories, especially this initial 20. I think that'd be a really cool project. Well, again, just want to thank you so much for taking the time to stop by today and to share with our community and our audience a little bit more about the organization, and for sharing your story. This has been a lot of fun for me, and I know that there's going to be a lot of individuals out there that are going to be excited to get their own. So I wouldn't be surprised in the least if that 20 is sold out relatively quickly. So definitely encourage everyone to get on the website and to check it out to learn more. But again, Kenny, really appreciate you taking the time to talk today. This has been fun.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome. So look forward to talking more with you soon, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day today. And again, thanks for taking the time to stop and talk with us here at Are We There Yet?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.